Hello, YouTube and Daily Motion. Anywhere else you may be watching this. This is Odogoo from Team Aonn, and we're here with yet another Crimson Peak video because this movie is just so good it needs to be talked about. But with this goodness, also is some badness as well. And what we're gonna talk about is the trailers and then the movie. Now, fair warning, there is going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it by now, it's been out almost a week. Seriously, go see it. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Now, there was this whole thing in the fan community, at least those that were not horror fans, that most of them were nervous that weren't horror fans because when they saw the trailers, a lot of people thought that it was going to be like a horror movie, and because it was billed that way, and like one of the theories that a lot of people had is that, well, the house was alive and they were getting either to be sacrificed to the house, and it's simply not true. And I think this is a huge blunder on Universal, because it really ticked, while it was a relief for those that had that worry, it also ticked off a lot of people that were advertised one movie and then got a completely different movie, because this was not a horror movie, it was a gothic romance. And I wasn't overly disappointed because I saw some of the interviews, and you got that kind of clue from Del Toro that it was not a horror movie, because he kept saying it's not a horror movie, it's a gothic romance, and trying to explain what a gothic romance is, because it's not something that we've really seen, and what's make it so special, is it's not something we've seen, or it's not something we've seen in a long time. Now, as far as why they had to label it as a horror movie, I'm not upset they did label it as a horror movie. I'm upset because they advertised it as like a generic, creepy, there's gonna sacrifice her to the house or whatever, kind of thing. And then you get into the movie, and it's basically a gothic romance, but it's not really that scary. Most of the movie, I was like, they're gonna do a jump scare. They're gonna do a jump scare. I'm waiting for it, and no, that didn't happen. There was no jump scares. The trailers were creepier than the movie. Does it have ghosts? Yes, but even in the movie, they call this out. It's a story with ghosts in it. And I'm not gonna get into some of the plot of the book, which is the movie, is what Edith wrote. I'm not gonna get into that. We're talking about the trailer, into the movie right now. We can save that for another video. But and it basically hindered people from seeing this movie, or it really upset people. And it's the same with the term bad booking. In wrestling, the booker is in control of what people do, and if you book somebody bad, they could be the most talented person, but they're gonna look bad. If they're great at being a bad guy and you book them as a good guy, they're gonna fall flat. And that's the problem that Universal did. They were trying to appeal to the wider demographic, but it was the wrong demographic. And this movie doesn't really have a wide demographic. Is it beautiful? Does it warrant a wide demographic, a huge fandom? It does. I see it developing a cult following, just like Repo the Genetic Opera, Sweeney Todd, um, Rocky Horror Picture Show. That stuff has a cult following. It's not universally large. It is large, but it's not universally large, which they were trying to appeal to. And I really think that was a huge blunder on their part. That being said, what the movie did seem like is it was a horror movie, but it was a horror movie akin to the classic horror movies. Like, this movie would have been absolutely terrifying if it came out 50, 60, so on years ago. My main example of this is take the original Lon Chaney Phantom of the Opera, where you watch it today, it's not scary. It really is not scary, but if you either knew somebody old enough to see it, which is unfortunately not something that can happen in 2015, usually due to the age of the movie. So usually you do have to read. And I've read where women were screaming and fainting and leaving the theater. They were so scared of Phantom of the Opera, the Lon Chaney version. Because back then it was something new and shocking. And if this movie was shown back then, or 50 or 60 years ago, before the slasher phase of horror, this probably would have been terrifying. And it did have a few scary moments. Most of them for me involved gore. I remember screaming in the theater. Mostly when Lucy stabs Tom in the face, because, you know, that is a bit that's a bit much. But if they would have billed it as a classic horror, because even Del Toro said it's something that we haven't seen in 50 years, and it's true, and that's what makes it so special, because it's something that, while it has been done in the past, it hasn't been done for so long. And this is the huge issue I have with the trailers. Because, I mean, you see a lot of the ghosts in the trailers, and they're really not the focus of the movie. I mean, they're part of the story, but they're not the focus. They're in it, and they help drive the plot. But the movie, compared to the trailers, really does not add up. And that's, I really don't know how I would have advertised it, because you can't advertise it as a romance, you know, but you can't advertise it as this slasher horror thing that they tried to advertise it as either. But the bottom line is, even with the bad advertisement, it is a great movie. Anybody who can see it should see it in theaters, preferably, because it was cinema magic. It's what cinema is all about. It's just beautiful to look at. The story is amazing, and the trailers do not do it justice. And that's pretty much my thoughts on the trailers versus the actual product. I'm going to be doing a few more of these videos, at least, possibly some theory videos. So I do thank you for tuning in. As always, remember to like, subscribe, and follow. And if you wish to discuss any of this with me at further detail, you can always tweet at Team Aonn at me. And as always, Enjoy your game and enjoy your hiddles.